And that's why today we're finding Skibidi Toilet in Pokemon Sapphire.
I I really didn't want to see you start that way, but all right. Welcome to Pokemon Soul Link, everyone, where we play Pokemon and talk about a pop culture topic. We didn't do much last episode, except talking about men we like. Yeah, that
I would
doesn't
like
need
to
more
clarify,
explanation.
I didn't do anything last episode because I got to the city 20 minutes before Eddie decided to show up.
It's not. I fought a lot more trainers than you. Okay, it's not my fault. But we're not here to talk about Pokemon. We're here to talk about Fallout, the TV series. Which, if you haven't already, and I think I speak for me and Shaner on this, but you need to go watch it. Okay.
Yeah, for
go
sure.
watch it and then come back and listen to this because this is gonna have spoilers. Okay. We're not holding anything back.
Spoiler alert: the bombs drop.
Okay. Haha,
That's a
funny.
spoiler.
Okay. Anyways, let's get into the game. But most importantly, let's get into our topic. So, Shaner, I mean, you've already told me you've really liked the show. You want to elaborate a bit?
Love this show. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it because, as we both know, video game movies / TV shows have a really bad history. From the old Mario movie, not the Chris Pratt one. I'm talking about the live action one with John Leguizamo
Yeah.
as Luigi, and Yoshi was a Velociraptor. So I wasn't sure what to expect going in this one. Then the trailer dropped and it gave me hope. And the second trailer dropped and I got excited. And the show came out and Cassie and I binged it in 2 days and absolutely loved it.
I think me and Holly binged it in like 3 days.
Those are rookie numbers.
Because it's only like 8 episodes, but each episode's like an hour long. So we would watch like 1 or 2 a night.
Yeah, it was really good. My favorite part about it, and not like in a, anything definable yet, 'cause we'll get into all the details of it. It was the fact that I don't think there was a single episode or a single character that I thought was like unnecessary or didn't like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone felt like they had a place, story-wise. Like nothing felt like filler.
And yeah, each episode I would watch again. Some TV shows you go into it and you're like, yeah, that was fine, but I wouldn't watch that particular episode again. I would skip it on a rewatch, but none of those episodes felt like you said, none of them felt like filler, not thriller.
Yeah, wrong type of genre there. So, before we get into like the actual like show itself, what is your experience with the games? Because if you don't know, Fallout is based off of a game series that's been spanning like 25 years. It started with like a Diablo type RPG look, like for like games 1 and games 2, and then once it sold to Bethesda Studios, it became like the Skyrim-esque game it is today.
So my history with the games, I didn't play really any of them. The closest thing I had, well, I didn't play any of them for a while. Let me make that statement first. I saw the trailer for Fallout 4 when it came out, and I remember thinking it looked really cool, but I had no idea what it was. And then when I got to college, Cassie, who was then just a really good friend, introduced me to Fallout. I played Fallout 3 first on her recommendation. I loved it. Moved on to 4. I loved it even more. Tried to play New Vegas, and I hated it and swore I would never play it again, mostly because it was too hard for me. And then I came back a couple years later and beat that game and loved it. And I even didn't hate 76. I don't love it, but I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets from fans.
Okay. Before you continue, Shannon, that's your encounter, correct?
Unfortunately. I mean, it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. I'm healing right now, so let me go heal, then I'll... Oh, that's the gym. That is not the right place.
Yeah, do not go into the gym to heal.
Yeah, I'll let you know what my encounter is in a second. So, Okay, I'm not a huge fan of the Fallout games, unfortunately.
Ooh.
So I had a similar experience you had. I didn't play Fallout until I was in college. Our friend Claire let me buy her version of Fallout 3. Actually, I don't think I bought it. I think she like lent it to me, and then she decided she didn't. It's not that she didn't want it back; it's that she let me have it because she know I'd like play it. Anyways, I got like I don't know, probably halfway, probably less. I got like a good chunk into the game, and then I stopped playing because I got tired of it. All because of one word. Not one word. 2 words? Yeah, 2 words. Item management. Item management is one of my least favorite things about any type of game. I hate managing my inventory. And oh my gosh, Fallout 3 has so much of it. To me, it felt like anyways.
I mean, that's basically a big part of all the Fallout games is item management. You're going to get a lot of items.
Yeah. It's a similar issue I have with Skyrim, where it's just like I'm just managing my inventory the entire time because I just become overcumbered so fast.
Yeah,
And
I get that, but you got to use companions that can carry that stuff for you.
I never ran into a companion when I played.
Well, Fallout 3 is kind of a weird one because companions in there are super spaced out in terms of when you can get them, as opposed to like Fallout 4 where you get a companion within the first 5 minutes of like actual gameplay, and Fallout New Vegas where you also get companions rapidly. So Fallout 3, they're kind of a weird. I think they were underdeveloped for that game.
Okay, that makes sense because I didn't run into dog meat. I would name another one, but I don't know the names of any other ones.
I think there's like 4 or 5 more.
Probably. I just never ran into them. I did catch my Pokemon. It's a Poliwag.
Okay, so now we come to the toughest part of this is naming Pokemon.
Yeah.
This thing flies. So what else flies? I'm gonna call it Boeing after the airlines.
That's a good one. I like that one.
They're kind of in hot water right now. What you get when your planes keep falling out of the sky.
Oh, I know what I'm going to name this thing. Okay. All right. I'm naming my Poliwag Poliswag.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of that one. All right. So we never actually went over our teams at the beginning. It's fine. It's the same as the previous, like, 2 episodes. Like, I don't know. Go watch those or whatever. No, I went into the gym again. Nope.
Dude, you go up.
I know. I keep forgetting.
Wait, when did you get your encounter like right in front of the city?
No. No, I went to the grass where you are.
And then ran all the way back and ran into the gym.
Yeah.
You not have potions?
No, I want to heal my Pokemon so I can start like switch training it.
I hate this Pokemon.
Nuzleaf?
It's just so ugly looking.
I actually really like Nuzleaf and Shiftry. I like that whole evolution line. It's too bad they suck. But I really like them.
Going here. Am I going right?
To the right, yeah. Ooh, speaking of which,
Knew that was going.
Okay,
Anyways.
so let's get into specifics. Shane, what were some of your favorite things, Shaner? Personally, for me, what made, even though I don't like the games, I really love the aesthetic. And this show just knocked it out of the park. I mean, I felt like I was watching the game.
Yeah, it definitely had that aesthetic between the props, the music. Speaking of my favorite part of the show, and I maybe not explaining this right, the music drops. I think I explained that to you the other day, like the way the soundtrack cuts out and the song kicks in, like whatever Johnny Cash song or whatever they were using, it all felt in the spirit the universe, but it also it was just a really good transition for each song, and each one felt like they fit the scene they were being used on very effectively.
Yeah, definitely. I really love how they included like the I don't remember what it's the name of it, but basically the main theme in Fallout 3. I don't want to set the world on fire, whatever it's called. That's probably my favorite Fallout song. Really good.
Yeah, that one has become kind of its not mascot, but like the song mostly associated with it. By
Yeah, yeah, like the flagship song, essentially.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the sets were really good, especially the vault. It felt like it was ripped straight out of the games. And the makeup work done, especially for the ghouls, was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the ghouls looked almost too clean, honestly. Like they almost looked too clean. Like I was expecting them to look a lot more scabby and like more horror-ish, but they did like the skin a lot more smoother than I thought they would.
Yeah, and I think that was a big complaint when the show came out. Was a lot of people were saying they look too clean, but I think it all depends on which one. Like later on, the one that he ends up shooting, like what was his name, Roger? The one they find in the house, and he ends up like almost going crazy on them.
Yeah, yeah.
That one I felt looked better in terms of like an in-game ghoul, and the ones in the store also looked really good. She lets them all out of the cages.
Oh yeah, I mean they all looked great. Like I said, just like this smooth. Probably the skin looked too smooth, which is kind of ironic since they call the normal people smooth skin. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. Speaking of the ghouls, I'm surprised how I don't want to say I'm surprised how much they were featured, but they were really featured as like I don't see the main villain, but like the side. What am I trying to say? So I remember in Fallout 3 that like ghoul civilization was really like focused upon, and that really wasn't in this film. Like ghouls were most shown as like this new dangerous thing, except for like the ghoul bounty hunter.
Yeah, they were treated more in this one. Like you didn't see a lot of what's the word I'm looking for here?
Civilized
Ghouls. Yeah, they were probably, I think, besides the one again, the one she lets out of the store / pharmacy, whatever they were calling it.
Yeah.
They were all kind of like savages, which is a whole different thing in the game. That's like a feral ghoul, which is treated more like a zombie. But yeah, there were not a lot of them seen. But I don't know how that relates to like if there are more in a certain area in the original games.
I don't know. Like I said, I've only played part of 3, so like my experience is very limited. So since we're talking about characters, who is your favorite character?
Oh, now that's a tricky one. I would say of the main characters, I liked Maximus. I'm a big Brotherhood of Steel fan, but let me take that back. I'm a big Brotherhood of Steel fan in Fallout 4. I hate them in Fallout 3. That's a hot take, but you know what?
Why do you hate them in Fallout 3?
Because the first one you encounter is... I don't know if you ever got to that encounter in the game.
No, I don't think I... Maybe I did. I don't remember.
So, like, you come into the one city, and there's a giant super mutant attacking everything. And the Brotherhood of Steel shows up and basically tells you, like, hey, back off. You're not good enough for this mission. We don't want you here, blah, blah, blah. And then the second you help them take down the giant monster, they're like, oh, wait, maybe you can join us. I'm like, no, you didn't want me there in the first place. I'm not joining your super secret boy band now just because you saw I can actually be useful.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I wasn't a fan of them when I faced them either, so... Oh, no. Oh, no. Shader.
What did you lose?
Oh, no, we're good. Okay. This C-Dot used Bide, and I thought it went already, but I wasn't paying attention, and it didn't. But we're fine. We're fine. It survived. C-Dot sucks. Carry on.
But yeah, I thought Maximus was a really fun character, kind of exploring like how do I want to say that? Not your typical member of the Brotherhood of Steel, like someone who's uh, not programmed the way they want him to be, but he's still trying to be like a good knight.
Sure.
And he was just a funny character too, especially his interaction with my other favorite character, who was his squire through that last part.
Thaddeus?
Yeah, Thaddeus. Because I've seen him in a bunch of other shows, and he's always funny. One of my favorite scenes is right when he shows up and he still thinks he's the one knight, and he has him climbing the tree looking for apples.
Yeah.
He ends up like falling out of it. That dude can do comedy so easily. Their interactions were really fun to watch. So, yeah, but again, there wasn't any character I thought less of throughout as the show went on in terms of like being my favorite character. I just happened to like Brotherhood of Steel stuff, so Maximus was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ghoul could easily also be my top favorite character because again, he's like a cowboy ghoul. And he had the most interesting backstory.
Oh yeah, the Ghoul is my favorite character in the series by far.
I might have changed it to the Ghoul. I didn't think about, for some reason I didn't take his backstory into account when thinking about it. It might be the Ghoul only for the fact that how well his story and everything tied together.
Oh yeah. It's crazy to me that like he lives for that long. Like I guess it makes sense because ghouls just like live forever.
Yeah, so that's how the Ghoul thing works. Are you at the tunnel, by the way?
Yeah, that's the tunnel. I have to run back and heal real fast, and then I'll be there.
You need more potions, man.
I don't really use potions. I'm lazy. Not lazy. I don't like to spend money.
Item management.
You see, item management. I don't want to think about items. I just want to go do my thing, have unlimited ammo, and call it a day.
Eddie, what would you say would be if you have a favorite scene?
Ooh. I don't think I could pick a favorite scene. There's just so many good ones. I really like the initial, when Lucy, who's the main character, and the Ghoul like meet up for the first time at Philly.
Yeah.
And, like that whole fight scene. Ugh, so good. I like the scenes between Maximus and Thaddeus. I thought their relationship as the show went on, just like really good, well done. And I like how their relationship kind of like waned and waxed throughout the series.
No, I will say there was some stuff. As much as I love the show, there were some things that, not that I didn't enjoy them because they were still good, but that just were a little frustrating. And I think the big one for me, and that bothered me, because now I've watched it through twice because Cassie wanted to watch it again, just to pick up on more details the second time around. And the second time it really bugged me more is the fact that, I don't know, I think it's about episode 4 or 5. It's after Lucy ends up in the Ghoul processing area where they got the medicine.
Yeah.
And when she comes out, she's like, looks more like a wastelander from the games. She's got the armor and the actual gun instead of the stupid syringe or pistol. And all this stuff, and you finally start to feel like, okay, we're picking up where the games are going to be. This isn't just going to be a vault dweller anymore. Now it's going to feel more like a protagonist from one of the games. And then 1 or 2 episodes later, back to the, a vault, not her vault, but back to a vault, and all that character development just goes away.
I don't know if I agree with that, because, so first of all, this game takes heavy inspiration. Like, it has its own story, but it has heavy inspiration from the games. I believe game 1 or 2, you have to go find, like, one of your, I think it's your dad or your mom. In game, 4, I believe, you have to go find your dad. Like, it's a story that's been done before.
Find your dad. Fallout 4 is find your son.
Okay, yeah, son. Sorry.
Well, I don't have a problem with her going to find her family. what I have a problem with is that like you finally get to that development point of okay, we're finally starting to move away from this blind love of the vaults, which I get was in her character, but did get a little annoying. The whole like, well, I'm from a vault and we do everything right, and you're just being mean. So can you please stop? And it's after like the fourth time she says it, you're like, okay, I get it, that's your character, but adapt to the wasteland. And so she comes out of the store, she looks like a vault, like a wastelander now, and you're like, okay, maybe we're starting to move forward in this character development of adapting to the wasteland. And then they end up in, whatever vault that was, I don't remember, the science experiment vault. And all that development gone, right back to blind vault trust. Which makes sense for her character, but it was just really annoying to have all of that erased.
I
And when
don't
she comes
know
back
if
out,
she
she's
ever
more
lost
naive.
like that trust in Volt. It's just that she had to adapt and kind of leave that behind, but she didn't like completely abandon it.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is that you started to move away from it. I'm not saying she completely abandoned it by the time she came out, but it's like you started to move away from that beginning of that, to where you start to become more of what you need to be to survive in the wasteland, like the doctor says in the beginning. And then as soon as we end up back in a vault, we're back to being the blind vault dweller, trusting. It just felt like it erased a lot of what we were about to see character-wise. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked some of the stuff in that vault. Some of it felt a little dragged out and weird, the science experiments and all that. I will say, however, my favorite joke of the entire series comes from that vault, and that is when Chris Parnell's vault overseer, the guy with the one eye,
Yeah.
his comedy is hilarious.
Yeah.
And when he pulls out the sword, he's like, "You will be sentenced to death by banishment to the surface," and then just starts cutting the rope with the
Yeah.
sword. That made me laugh way more than it should have. It was hilarious.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, he did a great job. I completely disagree with you. I really enjoyed that vault in like the time that they spent and everything in there. I thought the fact that I don't remember what their name, but the axolotl monsters were like human and like those were created by the people there and like they were kind of good. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that section. I disagree. Sorry.
I mean, it did feel effectively like a side quest you would get if you were playing a Fallout game, so I will give it points for that. And I did like all the little tongue-in-cheek references to the game. My favorite small one was when he's fighting everyone in Philly, when the ghoul comes in and starts shooting everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets shot, he hides somewhere and starts eating food like you would in the games to heal himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that, or his line, like the wasteland's golden rule: get distracted by stuff all the time. Little references like that were pretty funny, and that vault did feel like an effective side quest you would get if you were playing a Fallout game. But I don't know. I think the story was getting so good at that point, and then to have that little sidetrack, while perfectly in universe for Fallout, it's annoying whenever you can't control the narrative and they sidetrack you like that. You know what I mean? Like in the games, I make a conscious choice to get sidetracked to a side quest. So if I want to divert from the main story, that's my choice. Versus this, where it's like, okay, we were really developing what's going on here, and now we're going to spend 2 episodes on a science experiment that doesn't affect us.
I disagree. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed that section. Like I think it was worth doing that, and I don't think it made the series any worse. And I did not feel that way. I know it's a preference thing that you're kind of getting at, but I did not feel the same way.
I guess I could give that to you if it were a little shorter, Because I think it did have a really funny resolution where he starts beating people up because he thinks they're going to kill her. And then they have to give the fusion core back, and that kind of moral discussion. But I don't think it needed to be as long as it was.
Perhaps.
Are you
I
at
don't
the
know.
cave, by the way?
I think it provided. Yeah, I am in front of the cave, so we can go in now.
Okay.
I felt that it provided a kind of a break from like the outdoors.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, you also get those breaks whenever you're dealing with like Norm's storyline, which is another thing I want to talk about.
I got a ninjask.
I love Norm's character. like going away from the main characters, if I pick a main, favorite side character, Norm was probably one of my favorite, if not my full favorite, in terms of like side characters that weren't our main three.
Yeah, I was surprised by him. He really grew on me. In the beginning, I thought he was just like a character we were supposed to like dislike, just because of like he was like the rebel son. But he really shaped up by the end of the film. Sorry, I keep saying film. By the end of the series, I was impressed.
And if you're familiar with early 2000s Disney Channel lore, he was a child actor in the popular Hannah Montana show. And it took me forever to figure out why his face looked so familiar, and I like Googled him 4 times before it finally hit me that that's who he was.
I had no idea.
Now you do. Oh, crap.
Did you kill it?
I forgot we were supposed to catch that one.
I told you. Okay.
Can I call a mulligan on that one?
No mulligans. That's part of the. That's why we're doing this.
Man, I wanted that one too.
Well, what was it?
It was a spiel.
That's okay. I got a ninjask. I'm not too upset.
Okay. So we can't catch anything else, right?
In this cave, no.
I'm gonna get something really good next encounter.
That's fine. All right, so up ahead. Oh no, he's not here.
Did you lead us to the wrong area?
Okay, no, I guess we have to beat the gym first. I thought we went here first and then went over there, but sorry, I thought we come here and then go to the gym, but I was wrong. So okay. Do we want to do a little training? Or do you think we have a good enough? A ninja? Or Shedinja? I could have got Shedinja. That one's sick.
I'll train on the way back to the gym. Anything I hit, I won't try to skip.
Okay, sounds good.
The problem with the randomizer is you cannot put a Pokemon out in front because you can't predict what you're going to hit.
Yeah, well, I like to do switch training, so I just throw my weakest out and then I just immediately switch into something. Okay, so I want to go back to the characters and talk about each character for a little bit. So let's talk about Lucy, because we haven't really talked about her yet. I think that Lucy turned out better than I thought she was. I was a little concerned at the beginning that, because I see what you're saying about how she was too, like, loyal, I guess.
Well, see, the problem is I hated that about that character, but also it's not like the showrunners missed something or like they made her too annoying. That was her whole character. Like, her vault was all about, like, the vaults are all about doing everything right. Like, even the shopkeeper tells her, you're a vault dweller, you're true to your word, that's what you do. And that's how they were raised. So I can't say they made her out of character, but it just got a little annoying after she kept saying it to everyone she meets.
Yeah, but I think that was kind of the point, was to show that she was so, like, what's the word I'm looking for? She was so entrenched in this idea because that's how she grew up. But part of the show is like her breaking out of that, which exactly. I think that's true to the character. I think that in the games it's not really shown because like your character doesn't really speak that much, and you get to control like how your character speaks. So like you don't see that in game, but I feel like they did a good interpretation of that.
See, you're bringing up a point I was making earlier, which is the whole show is her breaking out of that mold of, I'm a vault dweller and this is what we do. And the second she gets that, she gets sent back to a vault and all that character development gets reset to, no, I trust the vaults again. The vaults are great.
I don't think she ever stopped trusting the vaults.
But what I mean is, like, she is moving away from it, like you said earlier. Like, that's her character is starting to become a wastelander instead of being a vault tech fanatic.
Sure, yeah. I don't think she... Well, I mean, we'll see in Season 2, but I feel like that... I don't think she ever left that behind. I mean, that's kind of shown... Maybe not shown. Let me rephrase that. I don't think she ever left it. It's just she had to adapt.
I'm not saying she left it. I'm saying that she started to move more towards, like, even a little step away from that after she gives the ghoul his, his medicine there. Oh
Yeah.
no.
No! Topsy!
How did I know one water gun was going to knock out that Pokemon?
Alright, who's Topsy connected to?
Okay, let me look. I'm running away from this. This Pokemon, I have to make it back to the city because none of my Pokemon can. Oh shoot, this is a trainer battle. Oh no.
It's just a Wingull. You'll be able to beat it.
That's the second Pokemon. No, Eddie, you wanna know what the problem is?
What?
That's the problem.
Oh, well, it's fine. Just throw out Skipper, tank some damage, call it a day.
What?
Throw out Skipper,
Yeah.
and then just, like, take damage from the Wingull until it wakes up, and then, like, heal up Horny.
I'm gonna use Boeing to absorb that damage because it can't do anything.
It can't? What does it know?
It knows. Growl, Charm,
Oh.
and Metronome.
Yeah, okay, don't do that. Never mind.
So I'm gonna. Right. Anyways, yeah, I enjoyed Lucy as a character more than I thought I would. Crap, that was not broken. But I don't know. I feel like there could have been more character development for her. Now maybe we'll get that in season 2. Now that she goes, off with the ghoul.
Yeah, I like that she's going off with him. I think that's going to be a really cool dynamic, and I think it's going to be really more of a push and pull more than Maximus was. Not that Maximus really pushed her to do too much, but it's definitely Lucy leading that charge. But the ghoul's going to really force her to make decisions. I like Lucy. I think I like her a bit more than you do, but I like how her character progression went overall. I had a question about Lucy. What was it? I should have written it down. I didn't. Oh, well. Maximus. Maximus... Man, I have a lot of mixed feelings about Maximus. Was Maximus supposed to be mentally challenged?
I was gonna say that. I think he was.
Because he was like Space Cadet throughout so much of that. And you wouldn't think he'd be like that since he like grew up in the wastes.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be that way, based on like the actions, his speech pattern, all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was intentional. But I like the scenes with him, especially once he got the armor. They were really fun.
Yeah, definitely. I thought originally when, do you remember when his friend, his friend, when they put the saw blade in their shoe?
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. So, for like a refresher, basically they're in the Brotherhood of Steel, and his friend, Maximus's friend, gets a promotion, to become a squire or a knight's helper. And in the morning before they ship out, someone put a razor in their boots, and so they put their foot in the boot and they ripped it out and basically made it so they couldn't go. And the whole camp thought it was Maximus, and that Maximus denied it because Maximus really wanted to go on this trip. I thought Maximus did it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that he lied.
I definitely did too.
Man, you're having a ball over there.
Pokemon wake up if they're not out.
No, they won't wake up. So he's gonna stay asleep if you don't put him out. Dude, he's a water type. What do you do? He's a rock and water
I need him
type.
to wake up. There's no way that I can beat him with what I have, especially not with one level above.
All right. Okay. All right.
He's only using Scratch right now, but I need him to wake up so I can. This is the last one. If I can do this, I can make it back to the town.
Okay. All right. He's using Absorb. You're fine.
Anyways, yeah, I thought Maximus was fun. I thought he made like another fun kind of mentor character for Lucy to kind of talk about like how things are now.
Mentor? Really?
Yeah, like especially whenever he's trying to teach her like this is how the wasteland works now. Whenever her solution to that one thing was like let's just put our hands up and be nice about it.
Huh. I don't know if I would say he was a mentor. I think he was. How do I put this? Okay, so you know in like old like fantasy like books or movies wherever where you have like the courageous but kind of stupid hero and then you always have like the sidekick that's usually like female that's like, you know, smart and like does the right thing to like undermine the hero. Kind of like actually this isn't around the same genre, but have you seen Get Smart?
Parts of it.
Okay, so Get Smart is basically an old, I guess like 70s, 60s. It's a spy comedy. So Get Smart, it's Mr. Smart. He's like a spy, but his thing is that he's stupid, but he's so stupid that he's good at his job, sort of thing. And his companion, which is a female, is like a legit spy, you know. But she looks up to Mr. Smart because he's like such a great spy, even though he's kind of dumb. And so she kind of makes up for his dumbness by making smart moves. It kind of felt like this, where like Lucy's like the female spy, and Maximus. No, sorry, the other way around. Sorry, Maximus is kind of like the smart spy, where like he actually knows what he's doing, and Lucy was kind of like the courageous but kind of stupid hero.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That feels like an accurate depiction. But I did like their relationship as it built throughout the show. It seemed a little weird at first, but it kind of grew on me. About Maximus, I got really tired of the same scene of him coming out of that refrigerator, his flashback thing. They showed that scene like 20 times throughout the course of the show.
I feel like that was a time filler. Like they needed to fill time, and so they just threw that in to like.
Well, what they should have done is they could have made that a progressing flashback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like each time reveal a little more to kind of build on this backstory, but instead it was just like, okay, we're referencing anything about the Brotherhood of Steel. Here he is coming out of the refrigerator. We want to talk about Shady Sands. Here he is coming out of the refrigerator. It's like, we get it. He saw a Brotherhood of Steel member when he was really young. That's cool. That's why he wants to be a Brotherhood of Steel member. It got old after the second time.
All right, I will say in their defense, while I do think they showed it a bit too much, I feel like they showed it a lot because it is really like a defining moment in his like character development. Like, it's like the developing moment. Like that's what he lives for at this point because of that one moment when he's a child when the Brotherhood saved him.
Yeah, it just felt a little overplayed.
I would agree because I think they showed it during like the last episode, and by that point we saw it like at least like 5 or 6 times. It was like, okay, man, we get the idea.
Okay, I made it back to the city without losing any more Pokemon.
Who was Topsy connected to?
Oh yeah, let me look. Oh, you're coughing.
Okay, bummer. I mean, that's fine. I technically have like a triple psychic weakness because I got 2 other poison Pokemon, so I'm okay with that.
Our first death. Okay. Anyways, so I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but the Ghoul.
Oh my gosh, I love the Ghoul, aka Cooper Howard. I really loved his character development. I really wanted to know more about him between him being Cooper Howard and being the Ghoul.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like his whole background. I mean, the actor did a phenomenal job. I mean, the one line when they're in Philly, when Lucy shoots him with the trank gun. I think it's a trank gun. And he's like, what was the line? It was...
Oh, that's a very small drop in a very large bucket of drugs.
Yeah. Oh, he delivered that so well. That's probably my favorite line in the entire film. Actually, you know what? That's probably my favorite moment, is that.
And I think it was interesting they gave him reasons for his overpowered moments, if you will. Like, okay, he can destroy power armor with one gun, and you're like, that's a little weird. But then he was like in the military and he knew about the weakness in the suits because they used them. Like, they didn't just make him overpowered. They gave his they tied his backstory into how he knew some of this stuff. So
Oh
where he
yeah, I
wasn't-
mean he did live for like 200 plus years. Like at that point, like he knows what he's doing at this point. The only
yeah,
thing that I didn't like about his character was the fact that he was driven by family. And literally everyone in the film is driven by family. Like Lucy wants to be with her dad and like keep her family together. Maximus, not technically family, but like he wants to belong and have like camaraderie with the Brotherhood of Steel. He also wants to become a knight, but you know. Thaddeus just wants to become a knight, like the same thing. I guess the scientist. Well, we haven't talked about him. We have to talk about him next.
Oh yeah.
I guess he doesn't have any family. So like, I just felt like that was one overplayed trope I wish they did less of, but it makes sense. So it's not like I wouldn't change it, but like just like one nitpick.
Yeah, the scientist. I thought he was a fun character. I wish he stuck around more. I thought he was a great character. Okay, I will say though, speaking of the scientist, that dog that he raised, not loyal at all.
I know. Me and Holly were talking about this. Like he changes owners so many times, and it's
for
like,
no
bro,
good
like you're just
reason.
gonna ditch your owner after all that. Like I'm surprised he stuck with the Ghoul after he killed the scientist.
Well, I mean, he did revive him, so I thought that was interesting.
Sure.
But I wish he would have stayed with the Ghoul. You know, like that made a really cool little team up.
Yeah.
And I mean, that one scene of him walking off towards the city with the dog like following behind him, that looked like classic Fallout, especially New Vegas with the cowboy gear. But it's like every time you turned around, like you said, the dog was with a new owner and doing something else.
I couldn't believe he went with Thaddeus. I was like, what? That makes no sense.
Oh wait, okay. So I said earlier my favorite side character was Norm, but you just remind me talking about Thaddeus. Favorite side character, the snake oil salesman. He was hilarious. For every scene with him in it was funny. Like when they're in Philly,
I'm ready to go in the gym,
like,
by the way. I'm gonna fight the
Okay.
trainers, but I'm not gonna fight the gym later.
and he's like, potions that can bring back your leg potions. Like just how schemy he was.
Listen, I would have liked him better if it weren't for his opening scene.
Dude, that was my favorite scene with him.
What?
That scene that catches you so off guard. And it's perfectly in character with Fallout NPCs.
Like,
That
okay,
felt-
it does. Don't get me wrong. Like, it does. It's just so off-putting.
That's what made it so funny.
How is that funny? I mean, okay, I see the humor,
okay,
but
what
it's, like,
he
it's
was
too
doing-
off-putting for me.
What he was doing wasn't funny. I'm not trying to say that doing that is funny. What I'm saying is just the line, and when you realize what was going on. Because at first you're kind of like, okay, this is the wasteland. That guy could be pointing a gun at him for no good reason. Like you're in Maximus's shoes, you know? And I think it was a really funny way of showing that adaptation. Like you go from being where Maximus is to where he is at the end of the scene, where you go, oh, maybe that guy should have been pointing a gun at him. That just made me laugh because it was so, like they say it so fast and you get caught so off guard by it. It made me laugh. Are you say you are fighting the trainers?
I'm not. No. I'm fighting
Oh.
I'm gonna fight the trainers first, and then I'm gonna stop and wait for you to do the trick.
Okay, so you are fighting the trainers.
I am fighting the trainers. Yes.
Okay. Kind of a mystery as to what. I don't think Thaddeus is a ghoul.
You don't?
I don't. Because as far as I've ever seen, ghouls don't have a healing power. And I don't think it's ever been proven you can. Now, maybe they added it for the context of the show, but the whole, like, getting turned into a ghoul with a medicine, it seems weird.
I mean, I don't know much about the series. I bought it, was like, okay, sure. But I will say the healing element seemed weird. Does the Ghoul take... Sorry, Cooper. We'll just call him Cooper. Does the Cooper take a lot of damage like that, ever?
mean, he gets shot a couple times, but he like heals himself with like stim packs, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we never see anything of to that effect, where he's like doing something insane like that, like unbreaking a leg, if you will. But I did think that scene was funny. The music guy was really funny. That's Fred Armisen, famous Saturday Night Live actor. It was a funny cameo.
I'm sorry, the which guy?
The DJ, if you will.
Oh yeah, at the during the
radio
last
show
episode.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would. I understand why Three Dog was in here, like totally different area, but like.
Yeah, I know you love Three Dog.
I love Three Dog's my guy.
See here's what I think. As much as I don't have the same love for Three Dog that you do, what I think would be a really cool scene is if you teased him at the end of the second season and dealt with Fallout 3 stuff. Like, can you imagine you end the second season with like a radio broadcast crackling in and it's Three Dog? Like, how good of a last scene would that be?
I mean, true, but they spoiled. I mean, you saw the end credits scene, right?
Dude, that scene was so good. I was gonna talk about that next.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Okay.
Dude, I'm facing a Groudon, and I have all grass types. What is?
You're about to be Groudon.
I've already faced Kyogre today.
When did you face a Kyogre?
Just a random trainer had it.
Oh,
sorry, I'm going through it today. Continue. I just fought a Blaziken too. Like, sorry. Continue with what you're saying.
Yeah, that ending scene was really good, and Cassie and I freaked out a little bit because, that's New Vegas,
right?
And the Deathclaw skull. It was all really good. And I will say, one thing that bugged me about the whole show in terms of like the power armor, because we haven't even talked about the power armor.
That's true, we haven't.
They, in the games, it's a big thing to wear the armor with the helmet off, and nobody takes their helmet off in the show.
I mean,
like,
Maximus kind of does it.
No, he opens the little flap. But I'm talking about, like, taking off your helmet while you're wearing the armor like Lucy's dad does. And it looked so good.
It does look pretty cool.
But yeah, that ending scene was such a good tease for the next season. But see, okay, here's the problem with doing anything like that. Is unlike most video games, Fallout by nature is an open-ended game, It will... How do I make this make sense? It bows to whatever you want, So trying to make a TV show about this is kind of difficult because there are 5 different endings you can get in New Vegas alone. So which one's canon? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I saw an article like talking about. I didn't read it, but I saw that was the thing because it has multiple endings. I don't know. I think that's gonna be cool to see. I mean, I like that they based the show not on the games because I thought that'd be kind of too boring. I'm glad that they kind of went differently, but.
Well, yeah. What I mean though is like, okay, so yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad it wasn't just a remake of the games in TV form. But what I'm talking about is like, let's say next season you go to New Vegas. Well, in my copy of New Vegas, I sided with. This is not going to make any sense to you, so just nod along.
Spoilers, people. Spoilers.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess spoilers for New Vegas if you haven't played it yet. Go play it. I know it's become like a common trend for people to say it's the best game, and everyone else goes, no, it isn't. It is. It's the best Fallout game.
I thought you hate New Vegas.
I went back and played it again once I got a little more into Fallout, and turns out the reason I didn't like it before is because I was playing it wrong.
Oh, okay.
I am a converted New Vegas lover. It is the best Fallout game. Anyways, so in my copy of New Vegas, I sided with the Yes Man, who is like a sentient robot who helps you take over the whole of New Vegas Strip. In Cassie's version, she might side with the NCR, who you kind of saw at the end of the show there.
Yeah.
And that leads to drastically different endings for what happens to New Vegas as a city. So if you're going to deal with that city in the second game, what ending was canon, you know? You know what I'm trying to say? And like
Yeah.
even characters that you may have killed off in the game. So let's say Mr. House, who had a cameo in the show as one of the Vault Tech board members.
Yeah.
You can kill him off in the game, and most of the time I do because I don't like him. So is he not going to be alive? You know, where's the canon at and all of this? So that's kind of the tricky part of dealing with these Fallout games in a TV show form where you don't get to decide what happens. That being said, I'm not saying they shouldn't deal with the events of the games, but it's just kind of tricky because you're going to have someone mad no matter what, because someone's ending won't be true.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm going to go back to New Vegas, but I think that's one of the reasons why the show was so good, was that it borrowed a lot from the games, just like a similar plot line and stuff, but it was a new area, like new big creatures, new characters, like it did a lot of new plot line.
None of those creatures were new. Those were all creatures from the games.
Oh, well, okay, let me rephrase. I meant the I don't remember what they're called. The axolotl looking things.
Those were from 76.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, never mind then.
They didn't add anything new, as far as I know, in terms of like creatures and stuff. They didn't add anything new for this game.
Okay, I didn't know that. Well, in that case, okay. Even still, though.
But I see what you're saying. But I'm not saying, like, again, my point I'm trying to make is that I'm not saying they should avoid the games altogether, but I'm not saying you should take like New Vegas' storyline and put it in there. But obviously for the second season, we're going to deal a little bit with New Vegas. Yeah. And this is going to be after the games have happened. Like if you look at the timeline of it, this is the furthest in the Fallout universe things have taken place. This is past Fallout 3, past Fallout 4, and New Vegas, based on the timeline of events.
Oh, does it? I have no idea where this happens in the timeline.
I think it's not too long after 4, because 4 was previously the farthest you could go, like timeline wise. But I think this takes place a little bit after 4. Cassie worked it out based on what they said in the show. But yeah, again, like I said, so it's not like we're going to be stealing plot lines from the games, but the problem is going to be, sidetrack here for a second. This is going to go great. Anyways, so the problem is, like, even if you're not telling New Vegas' story, because again, like you said, I'm glad they didn't, but some of those story things you played in the game have huge repercussions. Like New Vegas looked destroyed from that distance. How did that happen? Because that doesn't happen to any of the endings of New Vegas.
Right.
And of course, everyone was mad at this show because it supposedly changed some lore. But Todd Howard came out. Well, Todd Howard came out and said, no, it didn't. Basically, without telling people they're being dramatic, he told people they were being dramatic.
Okay. I have no idea. Like I said, I played part of Fallout 3, and that's all I know, really. I know I kind of know what Fallout 1's about, but that's about it.
But yeah, I think that it's going to be good. I am excited for Season 2. I'm curious to see where the story goes from here. Obviously, they're going to be tracking down her father, which will be interesting, but I'm curious to see what he's doing in New Vegas.
Here's what I'm hoping for Season 2. I'm hoping that they pick an ending for Fallout, like New Vegas. I just want them to pick it with an ending and then just stick with it. Like that's going to be the canon. And I also want to meet essentially the main character of New Vegas, or what would have been the main character. Those are the two things I'm hoping for. As someone who's not played New Vegas, dude.
What do you want me to do? I'm trying. It's a Suicune.
Okay, who's horny attached to?
Looking back on my list, the Puff. So I don't think you'll.
The Puff? Okay, that's fine. Skip Bloom sucks, anyways.
How am I?
That's fine. I can lose this grass type.
This is not going well today.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. Anyway, so yeah, those are the two things I'm hope. Do you want help with your fight, by the way?
Well, my problem is he's got levels on me, and if I send out my Charmeleon, he's gonna get destroyed. Because it's this one's got water type moves, but quick attack isn't doing a whole lot.
Okay, what's Suicune's moves?
So far as I know, it's got Leer and Bubble Beam, which is what I'm worried about, especially because my Charmeleon's already halfway down.
Oof, that is so much. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I think try and get Suicune as low as you can with Skipper. And then as soon as you can get low, crap, you might have the sack Skipper. Because you could probably one-shot Suicune with Zuko with like a scratch if you get. Oh my gosh. Okay, well now you have to switch. Oh wait, hold on.
Boeing doesn't know any moves.
Okay, switch out to Boeing. Heal Zuko.
I used all my potions after that first fight.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Like healing them in the first
All right.
fight.
Okay. You can't heal Skip. Okay, you have no potions. All right.
Oh wait.
No.
That's all fainted Pokemon.
Yeah, you can't do that. Okay. Who's Surskit attached to?
Victory Bell. Do we think that Zuko could tank one Bubble Beam?
No. Well, okay, it's your Zuko. How high Zuko? Like 4 levels above?
16. So 5 levels.
Okay. I don't think at the health it's at, it can. You can't even bait out a Leer. Like, the thing is, like, if you could switch into a Leer, I think you'll be fine. Because I think Zuko could take out Suicune, hopefully.
Yeah. One shot should be able to do it.
But if you switch Zuko into Bubble Beans, it's probably dead. What does Boeing have?
Absolutely nothing.
Just go over to summary. Charmlure's attack, correct? Okay, attack. That doesn't help. You
The
got
problem
yourself
is
into a
no
pickle.
amount of nothing will change. Well, I could reduce its attack for a couple moves.
It's not going to do anything because Bubble Bean's a special attack.
Yes, it is.
Alright. Boeing's attached to Poliwag. I kind of need a water type. Okay. Yeah, you just have to sack Skipper. Just attack with Skipper. Get it as low as possible.
Well, again, that's not going to do anything.
No, because I think you can take out Suicune with Zuko.
Yeah, but if I put Zuko in, we're going to have to pray he doesn't use Bubble Beam, because that automatically loses me.
Oh, is Suicune faster?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Like, swapping in that Pokemon takes up your turn.
No. Let Skipper die. Just attack and let Skipper die, and then switch in the Zuko and pray that it can take it out. Darn it. Jezebel.
I'm not worried about taking it out. What I'm worried about is I'm not going to be able to move before, because
I think you're faster.
It's not about speed, though. Putting in a Pokemon takes up a turn.
No, it doesn't. Not if you die.
Oh.
All right, scratch and just cross your fingers.
No!
Oh, it leered!
Oh,
It leered!
okay. That's it. That's your mistake. If this misses...
No, you're not. It's okay.
Oh.
Gosh. Please tell me you're done battling.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, thank God. All right.
That was the worst thing. This has not been a good match.
All right, man. Jezebel was like my best mon there.
I'm gonna go heal.
Yeah, go get potions too. I can't believe you wasted all your potions.
I was healing my Pokemon after in the middle of the last fight. For some reason, I'm getting all water types today. I don't have anything to combat them.
Puff, it was good to know you. Victory Bell, you have been a valuable asset to the team. And now we're down to a team of 2. Okay, well, after that incident, I need to go train my Pokemon. Because before I thought I was going to be fine, but now I've lost 3 Mons, and I need to make sure that I'm fine. So let's do a training montage real fast.
I ever tell you about the first time I saved a Pokemon game?
No.
I didn't know how saving worked in these games, so I got my first copy of Diamond. It was like my first ever Pokemon game. It was like Christmas night, so I didn't have to be anywhere the next day. And I was probably, I don't know, 10. So I played and I played. I beat 2 gyms, got like a sweet Pokemon team, and I hit save game. Well, the first time I did, it's probably my second night playing. And my second day playing, I beat the second gym. I got like a Roserade. I was doing awesome. I was so happy. And I hit save, and it was like, if you do this, it'll overwrite your save file. I'm like, no, I don't want anything overwritten. That's dumb. I'm not going to overwrite my progress.
Oh, no.
So I hit no and turned off my DS and came back to nothing. I was not happy.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, we're here, people. We're done training. We're about to fight the gym. We're not going to talk about Fallout because we want to focus and beat this gym and like not lose our 2 remaining Mons. So let's go over the teams real fast. I have Polyswag, level 15, and then Venezuela, the Venusaur, level 16.
I have Zuko the Charmeleon. Is he a Charmeleon or is he he's a Charmeleon. I have a Zuko the Charmeleon who is level 17 and an unfortunate Boeing who is a Togetic who's level 9 and doesn't know any attack moves. So we're going to use that Pokemon as a Bullet Sponge.
Yeah, fun fact, Togetic doesn't learn an attacking move other than Metronome until level 41. So
You know what? I'm convinced the randomizer hates me, okay?
okay, you had some cool Mons, okay?
Like what?
Pinsir's cool. Charmeleon's
No.
cool.
Pinsir knew one move, and that was Vice Grip.
You just had to train it up more.
No, it's a terrible one, and I'm also getting the bad end of the stick from the randomized trainers. A Suicune that nearly wiped out everything.
I don't want to hear anything. I faced a Groudon, all right? I guess I did have a water type at the time, but
You faced a Groudon, and it was... yeah, you had a water type. I don't have any grass types or anything effective against water Pokemon, and that was like the 3rd or 4th water Pokemon this play session.
all right, whatever. Either way, we're here. We're going to fight the gym. You probably want to leave with Zuko, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. All right. First gym,
Any
here we
other,
go.
Any other thoughts on Fallout before we wrap up and fight?
That's a
the
good point.
later?
Let's wrap up with our thoughts on Fallout 4. Go watch it if you haven't already. Oh man, I didn't even get to what I would change about the game.
The show?
I'll just go over them real fast. Or yeah, the show. I wish that there would have been more wildlife. I felt like we didn't see any like bloat flies,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I wish there would have been at least one Deathclaw. I get why they didn't want to throw it in, but I wish there was at least one. And I was confused about why they named the one town Philly, because I know it's set in California, but when they said Philly, I thought, oh, it's like Philadelphia. So
No, it's
like she
spelled
traveled like
Filly. It's usually because a sign gets like, oh, that's not okay. If you didn't know that, because it's a big thing in New Vegas, usually when a Fallout town gets named, it's because there was a larger name on a sign, and that sign got kind of destroyed, and whoever settled there. So like in New Vegas, there's a settlement that's established within like an old hotel, and it's called Novak. And because the sign where it says no vacancy kind of got damaged, so all that was left was Novak, and that's what they call the town. It happens a lot in these games.
Sure, I know, I understand why. It confused me because when they said it was named Philly, I thought, oh, like Philadelphia. So I thought it was like the new Philadelphia, and so I thought she went like cross map.
No.
And by cross map, I meant across the United States because they start in California.
Apparently, you're not the only person wondering why it's called Philly. Let's see. Oh, someone said they think it's because it was built in a landfill.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's fine.
something like that. I don't know, but I get what you're saying. It is kind of a weird name.
I just wish they would have named it something else less confusing. Other than that, love the show. So excited to see Fallout 2. I would venture to say this is probably the best like video game film, like movie, TV show, whatever that's come out.
Yeah. What was the other one? We just had another big video game TV show. What was it?
TV show?
TV show or movie? Because I feel like it was getting a lot of comparison there.
I mean, the Mario movie?
No, this was just recently, like in the last couple of months, like right before Fallout dropped. And I'm gonna, kick myself because I'm gonna get off, and as soon as we're done recording, I'm gonna remember. Because it was getting a lot of comparison, like how good it was versus, or how good Fallout was versus this. I know the Halo, wow, I can't speak, Halo show was getting a lot of comparison, but I feel like I'm missing another big one.
Nah, the only one I can think of is Halo, but I heard that wasn't all that great.
Yeah, that was kind of the comparison. It was basically people saying, "Hey, this is how you do a video game TV show compared to Halo." I don't know what I'm thinking of, but yeah, I would agree with you. It's definitely probably the best video game to film or movie that they've done. And I think a big part of that is because it kept itself faithful to what the games are about, and it didn't change a whole lot just for the purpose of like being a movie. You find that a lot in like video game TV shows and movies, where they'll change something just because it's a movie and you've got to have something new, and like add a new character in or add a new thing to the way things work just because you want to amp up the stakes or something like that, which has always kind of bugged me about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought there were enough references to keep, Fallout players interested while also making it accessible to new people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To people who maybe have never played a Fallout game but thought it looked good, I think they could still enjoy it just as much.
Oh, yeah.
Which was impressive. If I had to change one thing, it would be two things. Well, three. And it all has to do with the vault. I know you like that series of episodes. I feel like it could have been shorter if not cut altogether, but what it would have made it more interesting and more kind of more attuned to the lore is instead of the gulpers, the axolotl things, those could have been super mutants, and it would have been a little more interesting.
See, I thought about that. I felt that at first too, but after thinking about, now this was me thinking they were new. I didn't realize that they were, they made those in '76.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't go straight to the super mutants, just because super mutants are pretty like staple. I think it was smart of them not to throw all the staples out all at once.
I could see that. It was the weird focus on the gulpers for this show, between that and the first one where they dealt with him for a couple episodes with it eating the scientist's head and all that.
Yeah.
But another thing I feel like, and we'll see if you agree, could have been taken out of the show. The Shady Sands death cult was weird. And it felt like a side quest within a side quest. Like, alright, we're already in this vault, which is taking away from the main storyline, which again is par for the course for a Fallout experience. But then you have a whole nother thing inside of that where they're worshipping the city, I think. I couldn't quite tell what that was supposed to be about, and they're covering themselves in the ashes. It was just, it was weird and unnecessary.
No, was it? Because it showed the importance of Lucy's mother, which at the time, we knew there was something important about her, but we didn't know, how important she was.
It was just such a weird way to talk about, what happened in Shady Sands. It just felt like, again, a side quest within a side quest. I feel like you could have talked about... They already dealt with Shady Sands a lot with Maximus' experience, because he lived in the city before it happened. And I really like that moment where, she's like, "Oh, who do you think lived here?" He's like, "I did." And he tells about his backstory. And that's one of the scenes where him coming out of the refrigerator and seeing the Brotherhood of Steel member, that was one reuse I felt was effective, because then you get that context of, oh, that's why he was in there, was the destruction of Shady Sands. But I don't know, the in vault death cult thing just felt kind of weird and forced.
I
Like, if you're gonna
can
do that
see
whole
why you
vault
say that.
storyline, just keep with the vault storyline.
I don't know. I disagree. I think it was a nice break from the
A nice
Wasteland.
break from the break. No, I'm talking about, like, again, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do that vault as a break from the Wasteland, focus exclusively on that vault. It just seemed like the death cult thing was a side quest within a side quest. We're already down in this vault, not focusing on the main story. And I get what you're saying about it being a break from the Wasteland, and I will agree with you there. And I think it led to some really comedic moments, and I want to see more of what's his name,
The Overseer, the one-eyed Overseer.
like more of his actor in more things besides, because he's got that, and his other big claim to fame was Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just so funny, and he was another one of my favorite side characters. Any of the side characters were my favorites, I guess, the more I look at it. But it just felt like we're already distracting from the main story to do this, the Vault storyline. And now the other leader of the Vault is gonna have some weird orgy where we cover ourselves in the ashes of the dead people.
They just took their shirts off.
It was close enough to be called an orgy.
No, they just took their shirts off.
But why?
Look.
It made no sense.
It didn't, but
The whole scene didn't make sense. But that just felt like you were trying to force a little bit more maturity into your show where it didn't need it. For a show that had been relatively tame up to that point too, surprisingly.
Whoa. I would not say that this show was tame up to that point.
I would call it tame compared to something like Game of Thrones.
Oh, you mean from a sexual standpoint?
Yeah, like the violence.
Oh, nudity. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, from like a nudity standpoint, yeah.
And even the violence, I feel like, was relatively restrained. Especially because every review I read before I watched the first episode was like, dude, the violence is over the top like nothing you've ever seen. And I watched the first episode and I was like, yeah, I guess. But even like a lot of that violence was so underdone.
I don't know. I'm not really a gory person, so like I really can't comment on it. It was too much for me, but I didn't feel it was over the top, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like I personally wouldn't watch a show that's that gory, but I'm fine with how much gore was in it because of Fallout.
I was expecting more only based on the reviews I was reading beforehand, like the non-spoiler reviews I read going into it, just to kind of see what the general fan consensus it was.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the reviews I read were like, oh, dude, it's so violent, so over the top, like crazy. And I mean, the most you got in that first episode was like her cutting the Raider's neck with a broken bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And that was about the worst it got, which surprised. I mean, then you got some more stuff later on. Like, I will say, some of the gunfight scenes got a little violent, and him, like, crushing the Raider's skull with the power armor.
What do you mean? I think we have different scales of, like, gore levels. Because I would say, like, there was plenty of gore in this movie.
I'm not saying there wasn't gore.
No,
it just
show. I keep saying film. Plenty of gore in this show. It
felt kind of like... I'm not saying it wasn't a little over the top, but I just mean based on what I had read going into it, it wasn't as bad as people. Like, I was expecting like 80s horror movie levels of gore in this, you know? I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm not saying like, oh man, there was not enough gore, because I think it worked just as well without it. But I'm just saying that when I was reading the reviews, people were making it sound like it was like buckets of blood being poured all over and like guts laying around. And you get into it, and it was not that. It was still gory. Like I said, I think the worst of the whole series was him crushing the dude's skull with his power armor glove.
Yeah.
Or the knife in the boot. That one was like the nail in the floorboard from Home Alone. Like, it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But I would say, compared to the reviews I was reading, it was not over the top and like nothing you've ever seen.
Okay, that's fair. I understand what you're trying to say then.
But yeah, overall, wow, we really got off a tangent there about that vault. and Shady Sands.
Hey,
Okay.
it's the Fallout episode, baby.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I enjoyed it as a full experience too. Like you keep calling it a film, and I think if you watch all the episodes together, it can work like that. And I liked it all the way through. Like it's not one where I'd be like, well, it's only good if you sit down and watch this one episode. Like each episode, I felt built on the last. None of them ever felt, like you said, like filler. I could watch the full thing straight through and be happy with it. And I don't think I ever found myself bored, if that makes sense
No.
too, you know?
I was never bored.
Even in the non-action scenes, it was still building, and there were some really good scenes sprinkled. Even in the episodes I didn't like the vault, the scene where she unfurls the flag and then Fallout music plays was really good. And I will say the comedy also really well done in this episode. I don't know if we talked much about the comedy. The comedy in the show, fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, great comedy. It was outrageous enough. Like just it was everything was perfect for Fallout. I mean, they did a really good job sticking to the games. I could be here all night just like talking about all the great things that they did in this series. I mean, like I said, I wish they would have put more wildlife in, but like the animals, the jokes, all the characters, the factions, the storyline, the music, I mean, just everything.
Another just scene to call out because I remembered it while we were talking, and I've been dropping little random I liked this scene moments. The first encounter Lucy has out of the vault with the polite guy who points her towards Philly.
Yeah.
And like he's like, I keep trying to use these water filters and all I get is sand. And she's like, have you tried using water? It was just such a good encounter, and the fact that he turned out to not be like a raid or something. When he tries going like, you can stay here with me, you expect that scene to go into like he tries to attack her and she has to fight him off.
I was expecting that, yeah.
But then he's just like, well, have a good day. You're a good person, you know. Have a nice time.
Thanks for not shooting me.
Yeah, you're a good person for not shooting me with that gun. It subverts expectations in the funniest way. And again, it felt like an encounter you'd have in the game, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think they eased us. I mean, much like the games, they really eased us into Fallout. Like, it takes like a couple episodes to kind of really get into like the wasteland gore and like brutality.
But yeah, so like we said, 100 times on this, watch it if you have it. Even if you've never played a Fallout game, I think this is a good introduction. And even if you don't plan to play the Fallout games, if you're not a gamer, it's just a fun apocalypse show, you know?
Yeah. I'm honestly, and like, I'm not a huge, like, I film, I know I'm like TV show, movie. I'm not like I wouldn't call myself like a movie buff or like a series buff or anything. But like, I'm considering putting this in like my top 5 series. Like, this was so good.
Yeah. And again, it makes it into that list for me only because, like, besides the cinematography and the acting and the music, even the how do you make that make sense? Like the non-copyrighted music, like the soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah.
Were all really good. But it's the fact that, like I've said, my favorite part about the whole thing is there wasn't any character that when they came on screen, I was like, oh, get them off. Oh, can't wait for this scene to be over.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with the episodes. I enjoyed all 8 episodes. Usually with a series, there's at least one episode. Like, I'm watching The Rookie right now, if you've ever heard of The Rookie. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
And I'm on a rewatch right now because I'm trying to catch up to watch the new season. And there's been a couple episodes where I'm like, I've seen this before, I can skip it. I don't like this episode, I don't like the characters in it. I wouldn't do that with this show. I could watch it, even if it was, I don't know. If they made more episodes in that first season, it might not have been as good. But I also didn't feel like it was rushed. It felt like just the perfect length at 8 episodes, an hour apiece. It felt like a good where everything gets wrapped up. We're good to go. I'm ready for the second season. And just enough of a tease to make me want to come back and watch the second season.
All right, Chandler. I think we've shouted this show's praises enough. Let's get this battle done. Let's beat this gym.
All right, so yeah, go watch Fallout.
Go
and then
watch
come
Fallout.
back
Yeah.
and watch
Go
it.
rewatch it. Honestly, I kind of want to go back and rewatch it a second time.
I had to rewatch it a third time. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm in.
Fingers crossed. What are we gonna get? Please be a grass type. Please be a grass
Got a
type.
freaking Latios.
Grass type. Grass type. Grass type. If I get a water type, I'm gonna quit. This trainer does not look like she uses rock type Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay, Poochyena, not bad. That's at least a battle of attrition here. Oh yeah, we're gonna be fine. As long as the second Pokemon is the water type.
Dude, use Ember. What are you doing?
It's a fire type.
No, it's not. Poochyena's dark.
I thought Poochyena was a fire type.
Dark.
Well, I wish I would have used that move first.
Bro, what are you doing?
I thought because isn't his evolved form a fire type?
Nope, you're thinking Houndoom in Houndour.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, no, we're still good. That's just a Typhlosion. I can take that thing. How's your, Ludicolo going?
I mean, I'm facing this Latios. It's slow, but I'll beat it.
I think this is just going to be a battle of attrition here, because we're both, like, fire types.
Yeah.
And we're both relatively close in level, so...
I mean, it is fully evolved and you're only like a post-evolution, but you should be able to get this. Stop using potions.
No! I forgot that gym leaders do that.
Yeah, it's fine. We got potions too. No biggie.
What I wouldn't give to have Skipper. It's gonna start.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
I'm sorry I encountered like 15 water types. Stop with the potions!
It's fine. I'm sure I'm gonna lose someone later. Wish, come on.
I feel like when I use a potion.
Alright. Oh man, don't scare me like that. Swap into Togetic, potion up.
Used my potion already.
Do you only have one potion?
I didn't have the money for it.
Oh my gosh. This is why you save your potions. Actually, what move has it been using?
Tackle.
Use Growl, it'll lower the attack a lot. Or
Dude,
actually
I've got
Charm,
one-
sorry, Charm.
I've got 1 HP.
Oh. I guess I should have guessed I had Ember.
Welcome to the last episode of the Pokemon Soul Link.
It's fine. Put him. Alright, I'm gonna walk you through this because now okay. Just put it
What
out.
do you want me to do?
Heal.
Dude, I cannot heal.
I thought you had one potion.
I used it.
Oh. Okay.
Hold on, what is it got? What is it holding?
I think Scope Lens helps with accuracy, if I remember correctly.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's fine. Let's just see it.
If I could get one more scratch in.
You should be faster.
No! Sorry, Eddie.
Well, folks, this has been Podcast Soul Link. I don't know what to say.
We get one mulligan. How
We
about
will
each
discuss what
get
we will
one
do
mulligan?
in the next episode, if we decide to do a next episode.
I got hit with 4 water types this match, and none of my Pokemon can beat water types.
Don't use all your potions! Why are you using all your potions?
To heal my Pokemon.
You save them for when...
I had to heal my Pokemon or they were going to die.
Run back to the gym, or the healing center. Oh my... Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It happens. I'm gonna get off before I cry. Everyone, have a good night. Go watch Fallout. See you later.